If someone told you that when a person prays, they take on someone else's fate, this is not true. It's like saying if you help people simply feed the homeless, you take on their fate. Or if you heal people, it means you take on their illnesses. These are misconceptions held by those who don't understand spiritual laws. For example, if you give money to someone, simply lend it, you've lost that money. If they don't return it to you, you've lost the money. But in spiritual relationships, different laws apply. For instance, I smiled at you. You smiled at me. Now there are two smiles. I didn't lose my smile. It came back to me. As the song goes, share your smile, and it will return to you many times. This is exactly how spiritual laws work everywhere. If a person selflessly gives something to people, they receive more in return. For example, if I give lectures properly, who gets more? I alone love all of you, while 500 of you love just me. Who receives more? Why do you think I'm losing something? I don't lose anything at all. On the contrary, I only gain. Similarly, if you pray for your ancestors, for people who have passed away, if you perform such a prayer, good fortune will always follow you in life. If you helped someone in such a difficult moment, then good fortune will continue to follow you. You will be a happy person, protected by God. You will learn how to pray correctly at these lectures.
Good afternoon, Dr. Torsunov. I have a question. For a long time, I've been experiencing financial problems.
I can even tell you why they're happening to you. You're living in a period of time that lasts about 8 months, and it's causing destruction in your work. You don't have the opportunity to work somewhere. That means you're deprived of the ability to work. You've had one difficulty all your life. It's generally difficult for you to work somewhere. It's just difficult by nature. You're that kind of person. It's hard for you to stay in one job because you get tired of people and of work. It's difficult for you to build relationships with people. You often think, this isn't for me, and you leave.
What should I do?
Work from home. You won't have problems if you find work that you can do from home. You weren't inspired by my answer. Do you know why? Because you think my answer should sound like you'll immediately get a job and money. But I can't live your life for you. You'll still have to make an effort while working. Are you married?
Divorced.
Let's talk about that instead. I'm suggesting another option for you. Start working on yourself. Pray with the goal of getting married. Was your husband a wealthy person?
Yes.
And you were capricious?
Yes, I was.
You were capricious and now you've understood everything. Maybe you should make amends now and go back to him? It's too late. You've lost the person. Think more about this. According to your fate, like the fate of many women, the best option for you is simply to have a good marriage. If you understood this, you would invest your energy there. You don't invest any energy there at all. You don't activate your feminine nature. You don't actively present yourself as a woman in society. You're a reserved, home-oriented person. You need to be more active so that someone can find you. Imagine if $5 were lost in the forest. Would anyone find them? I recommend that you seriously engage in spiritual practice. You should understand what feminine nature is and reveal the woman within yourself.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. Please tell me how I can help improve the relationship between my daughter and my mother. They show aggression toward each other.
Do you live together?
Yes.
Do you have the opportunity to enroll your daughter in some kind of activity or club? You see, your mother is very strongly attached to your daughter. She wants to enjoy her. She wants to extract happiness from her. And your daughter doesn't like it. She acts up because of this. It's difficult for her when someone tries too hard to extract happiness from her. You know that women often like to extract happiness from their children. This means excessive worry, overprotection. It doesn't come from selflessness. It's the desire to enjoy the child. It's a psychological manifestation. This is especially strong in grandparents. If the grandmother constantly bothers her, torments her, how can she have respect? You can enroll her in some kind of club so she spends less time at home. Arrange for them to see each other less. It will be easier. If you want to solve the issue completely, you should know that there are 3 layers of life. In the lowest layer, people live very selfishly, constantly arguing. Usually there's drinking involved. In the higher layer of life, people think about earning money. They work a lot, get tired, get sick. They argue because they're very tired. There is the highest layer of life when people think about sublime things, try to care for each other, they forgive each other, then life becomes completely different. There are still grievances, but they're smaller. All situations get resolved. Understand that you don't have the highest layer of life in your home. You need to elevate the atmosphere of your home, in the place where you live. You need to learn how to create a more elevated environment there. That's where you need to invest your energy. When the atmosphere becomes more elevated, everyone will calm down. Life will be easier. You don't need to discipline your daughter. You don't understand what atmosphere means. Atmosphere isn't created by discipline, but by your actions. If you prepare food with prayer, this action calms the atmosphere. If spiritual music are quietly playing at home, the atmosphere changes. If you clean your home, there's no dirt in the house. The atmosphere improves. If you hang religious images, icons, the atmosphere changes. If you watch spiritual movies, the atmosphere changes. If you watch politics, hockey, football, detective shows on cable TV, then it's a different story. Everything depends on what kind of atmosphere is in your home. If the atmosphere is pure, then people get less angry and argue less. If the atmosphere is dirty, then it causes irritation. Create a pure atmosphere. You understood absolutely nothing of what I said, but if you study this question, then you will have an insight. You will surely understand how the situation in life changes. If the old lady had calmness in her life, she wouldn't bother the child. She bothers her because she lacks happiness. Fill her life with more happiness. Give her more happiness.
She doesn't take it.
Well, okay. If you were put into a cake, would you become sweet or not? Is there any chance of not becoming sweet if you end up in a cake, in a big cake?
I don't have a TV in my room, but there is one in the whole house, of course.
Everything starts with you. Create at least a pure atmosphere in your room, and it will begin to spread to other rooms.
Thank you, I understand.
You still don't understand anything. To understand something, a person probably needs to really experience stress. In such situations, I often tell the story of one elderly woman who really saved herself from death. She came to me for a consultation and said, I want to commit suicide. I don't have the opportunity to live normally. And the apartment is such that 2 rooms are arranged one after another like a train, and her son, who constantly drinks at night, watches TV at night, drinks during the day, doesn't work, lives on her pension. He lives in that end room, and she lives in the connecting room, and she can't sleep at night, and during the day there are constant fights. He beats her. She decided to die. She was tired of life. She couldn't live anymore. And I explained everything to her, how to work on herself, how to pray. She began to repeat, I wish happiness to everyone day and night, and she read prayers. After a month, he crawled to her drunk, started crying, said, I'm tired of living like this. I don't want to live like this, he cried. He made amends. Then a month later, he stopped turning on the TV at night. Another month later, he started drinking less, and eventually, everything was absolutely fine. She completely overcame her fate simply through prayer, and that's all. You might think that I'm trying to persuade you to do something. Here's another case, probably more illustrative. One woman approached me. She has a mentally ill son, and he lives separately from her. And when he has a mental episode, he locks himself at home and doesn't eat anything and fasts to death. If someone tries to enter his place, he attempts suicide. He doesn't answer calls, doesn't let anyone in, and simply dies of starvation. These are his mental episodes. And she began repeating day and night, I wish happiness to everyone, thinking about him, using this technique. On the second day, he called her, saying, Mom, come over. I want to see you. She took food with her, mixed tranquilizers and pills into it, and came to him, and he opened the door. Can you imagine? He started eating, began to recover, simply thanks to this positive attitude. She didn't call him, didn't see him. In another case, a woman couldn't send her child to school. She needed to pay for it, and her husband was a wealthy person. He told her, I won't pay for your child's education. It would cost him nothing to pay, but she simply treated him poorly. She began to ask for forgiveness, pray, and he called her himself and said, I want to pay for the child's education. If I continue now, I can talk for 2 hours about such cases, and I won't finish in 2 hours. I have 1,000 such examples, and if you want to learn more, then visit our website, Torsunov.com, click on the voting section. You will see 23,000 people who have been helped by this methodology. There are people who write reviews, probably around 1,000 of them, who decided to write about their lives. Read them, probably about 50 pages, so there's a lot of information. You most likely just started listening to my lectures, or have you been listening already? You need to do what I told you. Even though I feel you have doubts in your heart, you still need to start doing this, and it will help you. Your daughter will calm down because the grandmother will calm down. She will stop tormenting her. Atmosphere is a very powerful thing. It really changes life. Change the atmosphere in your home and your life will change. In your city, there is a certain atmosphere and it affects everyone. An atmosphere of tension. People are a bit aggressive, tense, and this is a situation that you cannot change. But you can remove it in your apartment. Make it different for you. The city is influenced by a certain energy. It makes people hard-working on one hand, but tense on the other. Atmosphere is a powerful thing. If a person changes it in their heart, they influence their relatives. Start with yourself.
Good evening, Dr. Torsunov. I have a question about health.
You shouldn't ask questions about health. We have a doctor here. Go to him right now. Max is seeing patients for free there, and he will tell you everything about your health individually and give you a consultation. Next note, please advise how to help my son regain faith and motivation to study. He is 22 years old, studied in Moscow for 2.5 years, lived in a dormitory. It was difficult for him to get used to dormitory life. During this time, my son became withdrawn, didn't share all the details, and when I suggested a transfer to another city, I realized that this was salvation for him. He transferred, there was a different specialty, different subjects. He stopped studying altogether and said that he probably wouldn't study at university at all. He is in a severe depression, doesn't go anywhere. Stand up, I need to see the person at least through you. Give her the microphone. He only communicates with friends through the computer. How can I help him? You misunderstand the situation. The city has nothing to do with this. He is going through a difficult period in life. This is exactly on our topic. You hit the mark. We will now talk about the influence of planets on a person, although it's difficult to understand how some planets can influence us. He is now going through a difficult period associated with the influence of Saturn. It began somewhere 2.5 years ago. Even before his studies, I think he was gradually becoming weak and withdrawn. This period is now ending for him, but it still strongly affects him. But in 6 months, he will be able to study again. He will definitely complete his education, but now he cannot study at all. He doesn't have the ability. If you force him, or he forces himself, he might end up in a mental hospital. Leave him alone for 6 months. After 6 months, he will start becoming a normal person again. But you can help him now through prayer, working on yourself. Well, instead of you helping him, he, on the contrary, is bringing you into depression. There is no spiritual life in your family. If there were, instead of falling into depression, you would be saving him, pulling him out. But on the contrary, you are falling under the influence of this situation. Now it's your turn to speak. Maybe I'm wrong. You should ask me something, right? Bring the microphone closer.
I think I've made many mistakes.
This is a certain stage of stress called blaming fate. When a person gives themselves too much importance and says that I am to blame for everything. You are not to blame for anything, you just aren't working on yourself. You need to pray instead of thinking that you're guilty. These are fundamentally different things. When will you start praying?
I have already started praying.
Good. Do you do it alone or do you listen to a spiritual sound?
I do it alone.
You see, you're not listening to me. I'm telling you not to do it alone. You need to play the voice of an exalted person and listen to them. Do it together with them. Then it will help you. Right now, it's not helping you. You repeat, I wish happiness to everyone, but in your mind, you're thinking about your son at the same time and not changing the situation at all. You're doing everything wrong. We often think that some situation is to blame. You moved the son to the wrong place, wrong university. Maybe it's much simpler, just a difficult period in life. In this situation, it's exactly like that. No matter where he would be, it's better for him to be at home. It will be easier for him to endure this at home. It's better to lose a year in his studies than to lose a person's mental health. I've seen how children's mental health breaks down because they are forced during this time. They cannot study. They don't have the inner capacity and a person's fate breaks. A person can end up in a psychiatric hospital. You always need to clearly understand what's more important to me, the person or the grades. Do I want to preserve the child or make him an excellent student? You need to choose one of the two in this situation. Remember, this system of educating children through forcing and tantrums when a child gets a C grade, this system never works anywhere with anyone. There is only one way to make a child study. To inspire them to study in the direction where they have abilities. Let him get C grades, but inspire him where he wants to learn, and then his spectrum of desires will gradually expand. Like a mountain, if it's high, it widens at the bottom. Similarly, a child, if they have achieved a lot in their field, begins to think more broadly and improves in other subjects too. But if you pressure a person, why study literature if you already know it well? Study mathematics. So when you inspire them to do what they can't do, they don't have the strength. Enthusiasm is lost, the power of intelligence is lost. The child doesn't get happiness from studying, because children can only get happiness in the direction where they have natural abilities. There they get happiness and develop, and everything else they improve according to their capabilities and desires. And the most interesting thing is that they will work in the specialty that is connected with their abilities. Everything else is just incidental. They won't develop in other areas anyway. But the desire for grades or prestige, the idea that my son should have good grades, this ruins the child. And this same desire for grades makes you scold him. Therefore, the best way to educate children is to give them the opportunity to develop in the direction where they have interest. To give such an opportunity, you need to calm down about grades. I'm saying difficult words. You want to look cool. My child is good. He has good grades. There's also belief in the unified state exam that everything on his report card should be great. I'm going to talk some sense into you now. Raise your hand, those of you who have ever shown your grades to anyone in your life. Usually about 10 people raise their hands. And this is what you're killing yourself for. Only 10 people have ever shown their grades. I've never shown it to anyone either. People believe me. They look at me and believe that I know what I'm talking about. No one has ever asked me, where is your PhD thesis? I want to read it. I've posted everything on the website because there are people who criticize, so all awards and titles are posted there. Ordinary people don't read this, they just listen to what a person says, whether it sounds right and interests them. So don't worry about the grades. Worry about the person so that he becomes developed. I was almost expelled from medical school twice. I hardly attended lectures and spent that time in wards with patients, treating them, trying to help them somehow. I was doing something else because my goal was to learn how to help people. It doesn't always coincide with being an excellent student. Your question.
My husband and I have decided to register our relationship. I have a daughter from my first marriage. How do I tell her about this?
It's great that you decided to register your relationship. You can do it without her knowing. Register secretly and that's it. Just do it so she doesn't know, and then she'll cry and calm down.
We wanted to gather friends, celebrate.
You don't have to gather. You can get together later for a different reason and tell the child. You don't have to inform the child about everything and ask them about everything. They're not fully reasonable yet. You can deceive them a little bit.
I heard that the man should get up first in the morning.
Raise your hand, those whose man in the family gets up first. Look at the auditory. How many hands where the man gets up first? About 10 people. That's the situation. Men have all atrophied.
I used to be the one who slept in, but now it's the opposite.
Your husband gets up earlier?
Yes.
You see, again, you have a better situation than everyone else.
Thank you.
And what did you so badly want to ask me? I know what you wanted. You just wanted to talk to me, right? Women sometimes just want to talk, to calm down. Well, you don't have any problems. Everything is fine with you. She has been seriously working on herself for more than a year. She's experiencing changes in her family and wanted to get confirmation. She received confirmation. To learn more on the subject of health and healing of the body, please make sure to read my health guide, available for download on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram page. Thank you very much, and see you soon.